Hot, hot, hot. Come on and cool down. Oh, Gus has the greatest ice cream in town. Got lots of flavors, so take your pick. Step right up and have a lick. Hi, I'm Glenda Armand coming to you from sunny Southern California.
Hi, I'm Kim Freeman, coming to you from chilly southern Indiana. Glenda Armand and I co authored Ice Cream Man: How Augustus Jackson Made a Sweet Treat Better. We are honored to be nominated for the Texas Bluebonnet Master List.
And right away, when I learned about him, I thought this is the kind of person I want to write about, a pioneer in this field and, and also a free African American born during the time of slavery.
Yes, a writing organization I belong to invited authors to submit a manuscript. Well, I had just came across Augustus Jackson's name a couple days before the deadline was up to submit something. Well, I didn't, of course, couldn't submit a manuscript because I had just discovered Augustus Jackson a couple days beforehand. So I submitted an idea. And luckily, Sonali Fry of Penguin Random House loved the idea. She also has a sweet tooth. So she asked if I would like to team up with fellow author Glenda Armand and collaborate on this story about Augustus Jackson.
And I was very happy to hear about Augustus Jackson and to collaborate with Kim. This would be a new experience for me. I've written several books, but had never collaborated with an author, especially over a vast distance. But it turned out really well. It was during the height of the pandemic, and we learned how to use Zoom and at first, but now we're using Google Docs, and it's worked out very well to the point where we're still collaborating on other projects that we hope you'll see soon.
Yes, well, while researching the history of my favorite sweet treat, ice cream, Augustus Jackson's name kept popping up. I had never heard of him, but he was known as the father of ice cream. So I wanted to know more. I looked to see if there were any books about him, but there were no books written about him. So I have a degree in journalism. I've worked for my local newspaper for the last 23 years. So naturally, I look at old newspapers first. There were newspaper articles about Augustus that had been written back during his time period, back in the 1800s. And, they described him as the father of ice cream. Just imagining opening up a newspaper back in the 1800s and seeing an article about a new dessert. People were so excited about it. It was like they were writing about a rock star. They couldn't wait to try it.
And what attracted me to Augustus was that he was a different kind of person that we could learn about. A lot of times, especially during Black History Month, we tend to talk about the same people, but we talk about athletes and politicians and maybe actors and actresses. But Augustus Jackson was an entrepreneur, and I know that there are many kids who don't want to be athletes, who don't aren't going to be politicians, but who need role models too. And Augustus Jackson is a great role model as a person who followed his dream and as an entrepreneur during the time of slavery.
We wanted this book to be informative, but also be a fun to read, a book that kids would want to read over and over. And in the newspaper articles and the research that we did, back in that day, back in the 1800s, when people were selling ice cream out on the street, they'd sing a song. So we came up with some jingles about ice cream and had author visits, and kids love reciting the jingles. We also came up with a recipe for ice cream. So we had fun. Both of us had fun testing the recipe at home and trying different flavors. And on our author visits, we have ice cream making sessions. And actually today, the day that we're recording this video, I just had an author visit with 150 second graders. They all made ice cream and they had a great time. So, that's one thing we're really glad that we put that recipe for ice cream in the back of the book.
Yeah, and you get to do fun things when the subject is ice cream. It's educational, but you also get to do fun things like wearing ice cream earrings. As a librarian and a teacher, my main advice is going to be to read. Read as much as you can about everything that you can that interests you, and that'll help you hone your own writing skills and develop your own style and broaden your knowledge of the kinds of things that you want to write about. And the other thing is to keep a journal. Right, Kim?
That's right. And yes, you're right about reading a lot of books. I mean, there's a book out there for everyone. You know, it doesn't matter what you're interested in. You can find a book about it. And just be
Hmm.
sure to listen. Listen when your relatives are talking about what they did when they were kids. Ask your oldest living relative questions and write down the answers. You know, basically interview them. Just come up with some questions for them and write about trips that you go on. Just write about anything that happens to you. Just keep a journal, and you never know, you might have your own book one day.
Right. So our advice is to read and to write. And we'll end with one more jingle from our book.
Yes, ice cream, quite a treat. Come smile a while and beat that heat. Try butter pecan, rum raisin too. Got a sweet tooth? Made just for all of you.
Okay, well, thank you so much.